Time for convening having arrived. The Senate will come to order. Would ask unauthorized visitors to exit chamber at this time. Senate will come to order. Recognize the distinguished rules chairman. Senator from the 9th.
Thank you, Mr. President. On this beautiful day, all 19 pages have been read and found to be correct.
Nobody does it better than you, Senator. Is there objection to dispensing with the reading of the journal? The reading of the journal is dispensed with. Is there objection to the confirmation of journal? Chairs none, and the journal is confirmed. All senators having bills and resolutions to introduce, please bring them to the Secretary's desk at this time. First reading and reference of Senate bills and resolutions.
Senate Bill 400 by Senators Davenport of the 44th and others. A bill to be entitled an act to amend Chapter 1 Title 35. Senate Bill 401 by Senators Carter the 1st and others.
Natural Resources.
Senate Bill 402 by Senators Golden of the 8th and others. A bill to
Retirement.
be Senate Bill 403 by Senators Miller of the 40th and others.
Appropriations.
Senate Bill 404 by Senators Miller of the 40th and others.
Appropriations.
Senate Bill 405 by Senators Miller of the 49th and others.
Education.
Senate Bill 406 by Senators Sims of the 12th and others.
Education.
Senate Resolution 819 by Senators Davis of the 22nd and others. A resolution creating the Senate Alternative Sustainable...
Transportation Committee.
Through the order, Mr. President.
First reading and reference of House bills and resolutions.
House Bill 642 by Representatives Collins of the 27th and others.
Government Oversight.
House Bill 711 by Representatives Lindsay of the 54th and others.
Judiciary.
House Bill 725 by Representatives Hamilton of the 23rd and others. A bill to be entitled an act to amend Part 1 of Article 4
Ethics.
House Bill 760 by Representatives Coleman of the 97th and others.
Appropriations.
House Bill 805 by Representatives Collins of the 27th. A bill to be entitled an act to amend Title 47 of the OCGA relating to retirement and
Government
pensions.
Oversight.
House Bill 841 by Representatives Parrish of the
Slow go.
House Resolution 1151 by Representatives Brockway of the 101st and others. Resolution creating the Joint Human Trafficking Study Commission and for other purposes.
Health and Human Services.
Do with the order, Mr. President.
Clerk will read bills, read reports of standing committees.
Mr. President, the Senate Public Safety Committee has had under consideration the following legislation, has instructed me to report the same back to the Senate with the following recommendations. Senate Bill 238, due pass by substitute. Senate Bill 366, due pass by substitute. Respectfully submitted, Senator Grant of the 25th District Chairman. Mr. President, the Senate Retirement Committee has had under consideration the following legislation, has instructed me to report the same back to the Senate with the following recommendations. Senate Bill 246, due pass. Senate Bill 286, due pass. Respectfully submitted, Senator Golden of the 8th District Chairman. Mr. President, the Senate Special Judiciary Committee has had under consideration the following legislation, has instructed me to report the same back to the Senate with the following recommendation. Senate Bill 107, due pass by committee sub. Respectfully submitted, Senator Thompson, the 5th District Chairman. Mr. President, the Senate State and Local Governmental Operations Committee has had under consideration the following legislation, has instructed me to report the same back to the Senate with the following recommendations. House Bill 815, due pass. Respectfully submitted, Senator Miller, the 49th District Chairman. Mr. President, the Senate State and Local Governmental Operations Committee General has had under consideration the following legislation, has instructed me to report the same back to the Senate with the following recommendations. Senate Bill 358, due pass. Senate Bill 371, due pass. Respectfully submitted, Senator Miller, the 49th District Chairman. Do with the order, Mr. President.
Second readers.
Senate Bill 332 by Senator Ligon of the 3rd and others. County sales, use tax, expand the matters included in annual reporting of the expenditure of certain special purpose local option sales tax proceeds. Do with the order, Mr. President.
It's time now for a morning roll call. Are there any motions to excuse? Senator from the 18th is recognized.
Consent to excuse the senator from the 21st for business outside the chamber.
Senator from the 21st, without objection, the senator will be excused. Senator from the 7th is recognized.
Mr. President, I'd like unanimous consent to excuse the senator from the 40th has business inside the Capitol.
Senator from the 40th is objection. Without objection, the senator will be excused. Senator from the 34th is recognized.
36 years en route.
36th, without objection, Senator be excused. Senator from the 52nd is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. Move unanimous consent that the senator from the 54th be excused, business outside the chamber.
54th, without objection, Senator will be excused. Chair recognizes the distinguished Ag Committee Chairman, Senator from the 11th.
Thank you, Mr. President. Move to excuse the senator from the 8th for business outside the chamber.
8th, without objection, Senator will be excused. Are there any other motions to excuse? Senator from 39th will be recognized.
Mr. President, I move to excuse the senator from 43rd for business outside the Capitol.
43rd, without objection, Senator will be excused. Are there any other motions? Senators, please signify your presence by voting the yay switch. Secretary will unlock the machine. It's now time for our morning devotion. Would ask senators to take your seats. Doorkeepers, please secure the chamber at this time as we prepare for our morning devotion. It is now my honor and privilege to introduce the distinguished senator from Hall County, the senator from the 49th, for the purpose of leading us in our pledge and introducing our chaplain of the day. Senator.
Thank you, Mr. President.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And the Georgia flag.
I
pledge allegiance to the Georgia flag and the principles for which it stands, wisdom, justice, moderation. Thank you, Mr. President. It gives me great pleasure to introduce a native of Hall County, an individual that has been very successful in business, graduated from Georgia Tech in 1985, worked in the food processing industry for about 10 years, growing his business tenfold over those 10 years, left the business community to pastor a church, what at that time was just a small country church. He grew that church tenfold as well in the next 10 years. The pastor operates and preaches at Chestnut Mountain Church. It's a dynamic, engaged, vibrant community and a vibrant congregation and a very warm congregation. Pastor Benefield has produced many pieces on leadership and Christian training. He has a beautiful wife, Tamara, and 4 successful children. I'd like for you to give a warm Georgia legislative welcome to Pastor Jeff Benefield.
Well, I so greatly appreciate the opportunity to be with you this morning, honorable ladies and gentlemen of the Georgia Senate, and I'll try to be as brief as possible as I was instructed. I know you have great business today. I want to thank my senator, Senator Miller, for giving me this opportunity. And Mr. President, I want to thank you for allowing me to be here. Given this chance to be here, I thought I would at least try to do something that would help you rather than waste your time. So I hope you're challenged by the few words that I have to say. The state of Georgia chose you. You may not have chosen one another, but the state of Georgia chose you to be our Senate and to operate as a team and as our Senate and to seek to do the will of the people of Georgia and make the state of Georgia a better place to live. I want to talk to you just for a moment about the thin line between winning and losing. There is a very thin line. And if you consider yourselves as a team, I know we're both Republican and Democrats and possibly independents here today, but the Bible says in Proverbs chapter 14, verse 20, an unlucky loser is shunned by all, but everyone loves a winner. And you know what? I want the people of Georgia to love both of our legislative houses because you are winners. Winners in your personal lives, but especially winners in your legislative lives as you do the work of the state of Georgia. 1 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 24 says, remember that in a race, everyone runs, but only one person gets the prize. You also must run in such a way that you will win. And we, as the citizenry of the state of Georgia, hope as the Senate of the state of Georgia that you collectively as a team will win. And so I just want to give you quickly some of the differences that I have noticed over the years between winners and losers. Number one, winners take responsibility, losers blame others. Number two, winners work hard, losers work hard only when being watched. Number three, winners do things the right way, losers do things their way. Number four, winners say we, losers say I when things are good, and y'all when things are bad. Number five, winners listen to instruction and criticism, losers laugh and look away because they already know everything. Number six, winners love their teammates and losers love themselves. Number seven, winners sacrifice themselves for others and losers sacrifice others for themselves. Number eight, winners lift up others and losers lift up themselves. Number nine, winners do the little things that don't get noticed and losers do only things that will get noticed. And finally, number 10, winners get focused while losers simply fool around. And my hope and my prayer for you today and every day that each of you represent your respective districts in the state of Georgia, that you will work in a spirit of cooperation and as a team collectively, you will win for the good and the benefit of the state of Georgia. I'd like to pray for you now, and I appreciate the opportunity to be here. I look forward to maybe saying hello to each of you in just a moment, but I greatly appreciate this chance. Let's pray together. May the Lord bless you and protect you. May the Lord smile on you and be gracious to you. May the Lord show you his favor and give you peace. I pray that the Lord will give each of you a spirit of cooperation and teamwork and the desire to cross political boundaries and aisles and work together for the good and be winners for the state of Georgia, that this might continue to be the great state it is and become the envy of all other states in our great nation. I pray God gives you wisdom as you do the will of the people of Georgia, and I pray that God gives you grace and humility as you serve in this august body. We thank you for everything that you do for us, Lord, and today we pray all of these things in your blessing on these wonderful ladies and gentlemen in the beautiful name of Jesus Christ. Amen. And thank you for letting me be here this morning.
It is now my honor to bring the doctor of the day and to introduce our doctor. I'll call upon the distinguished senator from the 35th District.
Thank you, Mr. President. I consider it an honor and a privilege to stand here and introduce a brilliant and beautiful woman who is here in the state of Georgia. Dr. Jada Moore Ruffin is a board-certified family physician and a diplomat of the American Board of Family Physicians. She is a graduate of Memphis State University with a BS in biology. She went on to earn her MD degree, graduating with honors from the prestigious Meharry Medical College in Nashville, Tennessee. After medical school, Dr. Moore Ruffin completed residency training in family medicine at Grant Family Medicine Residency Program, where she served as chief resident. There, she joined the faculty in 1999 with the Grant Family Medicine Residency Program, teaching residents and medical students for nearly 7 years. During that time, she held a position as Associate Clinical Professor of Family Medicine for the Ohio State University, Columbus, Ohio, teaching medical students the art and science of medicine. Dr. Moore Ruffin was selected to join the 2009 inaugural Satcher Health Leadership Institute Health Policy Leadership Fellowship as one of the 5 postdoctoral fellows during that time. She joined the faculty of the Family Medicine Residency Department at Morehouse School of Medicine. Since graduation from the fellowship program, Dr. Moore Ruffin has joined the Whiteford Community Program as Medical Director of the School-Based Health Centers, the only school-based health system in the state of Georgia. Also, she works closely with the community outreach and development programs, and currently, Dr. Moore Ruffin is actively involved with the Georgia Academy of Family Physicians, who, of course, are here all this week, and tomorrow they will be coming and meeting all of you. She serves on the legislative committee. At the national level, she was recently selected as the alternative to the delegates of Congress for the special constituency section of the American Academy of Family Physicians. You see why I'm so proud and honored. Dr. Moore Ruffin is a Diamond Life member of Delta Sigma Theta sorority. Yay! And also, she's involved in a core leadership role and is the leader of the children's ministry at her church, Kingdom Tabernacle Christian Assembly in Lithia Springs, Georgia. An outstanding, beautiful doctor who is still young and has accomplished all these things. I give you now the doctor of the day.
Thank you so much, Senator James, for that very warm introduction. I appreciate the opportunity to be here today. On behalf of Whiteford Community Program, the only school-based health centers that are currently in existence in the great state of Georgia. I also am happy to be here on behalf of community health centers across the state of Georgia, which are represented all this week, as well as all of the family physicians across the state and that are active with the Georgia Academy of Family Physicians. Thank you again, all of you, for the hard work that you do every day for this state, and I am happy to be here and happy to see you all in the medical room if needed. Thanks again.
Wonderful. Well done. Well done. Thank you. Very good. All right. Senator We have some special guests we would like to recognize. Secretary will read a resolution.
Senate Resolution 764 by Senators Heath of the 31st and others. A resolution honoring Sergeant Danny Crook and for other purposes. Whereas Danny Crook began his career with the Georgia Department of Natural Resources in the Walton District as the Conservation Ranger, assigned to Gwinnett County on November 1st, 1981. Whereas he transferred to the Manchester District as the Ranger at Large in Fayette County in 1982, and then as the Ranger for Haralson County in June of 1987, replacing his retiring father, Sergeant Max Crook Sr. Whereas he has been honored many times over the years, including being selected as the Manchester District Ranger of the Year in 1985, and awarded the Investigative Ranger of the Year in 1988, Georgia Wild Turkey Federation Ranger of the Year in 1989, James R. Darnell Outstanding Ranger of the Year for the state in 1990, Supervisor of the Year in 1995, and many other regional awards throughout the years. Whereas Sergeant Crook was presented the Governor's Community Service Public Employee Recognition Award for his outstanding involvement by continuing the annual Trout Rodeo, which was started in 1981 by his father, and for founding the Haralson County Wildlife Club and co-founding the West Georgia Youth Shooting Range. Now therefore be it resolved by the Senate that the members of this body honor Sergeant Danny Crook for his services to the citizens of the state of Georgia and the protection of its natural resources.
Is there objection to adoption of the resolution? Chair hears none, and the resolution is adopted. It's now a great privilege to call upon the senator from the 31st to speak to the resolution and recognize our very special guests.
Thank you, Governor. Members of the Senate, it is truly an honor for me to recognize Danny Crook. Danny comes from a family of law enforcement and natural resources, game wardens, as some of the older ones of us have known of them. His father served for many years in Haralson County, and Danny followed along in his footsteps. His father was instrumental in the restoration of the whitetail deer in Georgia, wild turkey in Georgia, and Danny's been very involved in that. Of course, he works as a hunter safety instructor and has done a great job recruiting volunteer hunter safety instructors in our area. In fact, he recruited me a few years ago. Used to help out until we got involved in this other little volunteer job. But a great American, and I'm very proud to be able to honor him. Along with him today is his wife Debbie, his brother Jerry over here, a nephew Jason who's joining him today, along with many of his fellow rangers and folks in the Wildlife Resources Division, and the commissioner up here somewhere. With that, I would just ask you to welcome him and thank him for his service. He's about to retire is the purpose for all this. I guess that's crucial. You're wondering why I'm doing all this, but he's about to retire with, I believe, 34 years of service. So been serving this state for quite a long time, done a great job. So join me in welcoming him.
Just like to say thank you. It's a great honor to be here today.
All right, that's a nice resolution there. Yeah, that's good.
Thank you.
All right, let's pose for a picture. Are there any unanimous consents? Secretary, read a resolution.
Senate Resolution 811 by Senators Rogers of the 21st. Resolution recognizing and commending Christian Farrar for being the first place winner of the fire safety essay contest and for other purposes.
Is there objection to adoption of the resolution? Chairs none. Resolution is adopted.
Senate Resolution 812 by Senator Rogers of the 21st. Resolution recognizing and commending the Sequoia High School speech and debate team and for other purposes.
Is there objection to adoption of the resolution? Chair hears none. The resolution is adopted.
Senate Resolution 813 by Senator Rogers of the 21st. Resolution recognizing and commending Sequoia High School senior Madison Gilbert and for other purposes.
Is there objection to adoption of the resolution? Chair hears none. The resolution is adopted.
Senate Resolution 814 by Senator Heath of the 31st. Resolution recognizing February 8th, 2012 as Sportsman's and Coastal Day at the Capitol and for other purposes.
Is there objection to adoption of the resolution? Chair hears none. The resolution is adopted.
Senate Resolution 815 by Senators Unterman of the 45th and others. A resolution recognizing and commending Stan L. Hall on the occasion of his retirement and for other purposes.
Is there objection to adoption of the resolution? Chair hears none. The resolution is adopted.
Senate Resolution 816 by Senators Staten of the 18th and others. A resolution congratulating Warner Robins on making it to the Little League World Series and for other purposes.
Is there objection to adoption of the resolution? Chair hears none. The resolution is adopted.
Senate Resolution 817 by Senator Harbinson of the 15th. A resolution recognizing and commending Thermus Butler for being inducted into the Chattahoochee Valley Sports Hall of Fame and for other purposes.
Is there objection to adoption of the resolution? Chair hears none. The resolution is adopted.
Senate Resolution 818 by Senator Harbinson of the 15th. A resolution honoring and celebrating the 50th birthday of E.A. White Elementary School and for other purposes.
Is there objection to adoption of the resolution? Chair hears none. The resolution is adopted.
Senate Resolution 820 by Senator Gooch of the 51st. A resolution recognizing and commending polyportables and for other purposes.
Is there objection? There is objection to the resolution. There is objection to the resolution. Chair recognizes the senator from 51st to come and explain this resolution to the body. Have you got the full resolution in front of you? Seems to be some controversy over the resolution. Secretary, read the resolution before the senator is recognized.
Senate Resolution 820 by Senator Gooch of the 51st. A resolution recognizing and commending polyportables and for other purposes, whereas polyportables began business in 1972 in Sarasota, Florida, whereas since moving its business to Dahlonega in 1978, it has been closely linked to the worldwide growth and development of the portable sanitation industry, including units for consumers with special needs.
This is porta potties. Is that what we're doing? All right, let's let the senator explain. Senator from the 51st recognized to explain your resolution.
Mr. President, it is an honor to stand before you all today to honor one of my businesses in my community, in Lumpkin County. Polyportables is one of our biggest employers, which is very important to economic development of our country. They produce a porta potty, which is used throughout our country and our world, especially out in Afghanistan, Saudi Arabia, and other parts of the world where our military are serving our country so well today. So I appreciate the senator from the 53rd giving me this opportunity to recognize this important business to our economy. If there's no other questions, I'll yield the floor.
There is a question. Senator from the 47th would like to ask a question regarding the resolution.
Oh, boy.
Thank you, Mr. President. Will the senator yield?
With caution, yes, sir.
I know you have great knowledge of this subject of which you speak, but exactly what are the purpose of this porta potty?
It is a place that a person can go for rest and relaxation in a time of need. Do you need further description?
Well, the senator could further yield?
Yes.
Are these devices a point of comfort, or are they aid, or do they have a moon and a star on the front door?
Well, there comes a time in a man's day where he has to go and reflect on the past, and this is a good opportunity to do that.
So this, with the senator further yield,
Yes.
as I understand it, these devices are kind of like a private library.
One could say that.
Thank you.
You speak with passion of which you talk.
Chair recognizes Senator from the 4th. You still have a question there.
Senator Yield. This industry has been enhanced by the demise of the Sears and Roebuck catalog.
Yes, sir. There's always sandpaper if one runs out of any other product.
No further questions, Senator. Thank you for enlightening us on this very important resolution. Senator from the 53rd removes his objection. Without objection, the resolution will be therefore adopted.
Do with the order, Mr. President.
Are there any motions to withdraw or commit? Mr. Secretary, are there any objections filed on any of the bills on the local consent calendar?
Mr. President, there are no filed objections in the Secretary's office.
Is there objection to agreeing to the report of Committee on the State and Local Governmental Operations, which favorably passes the bill? Chair hears none. The report of committee is agreed to. Questions on the passage of the local consent calendar. All of those in favor will vote aye. Those opposed, no. Secretary will unlock the machine. On the passage of the local consent calendar, the yeas are 50 and the nays are 0, and this bill, having received requisite constitutional majority, is therefore passed. We have another special group we would like to recognize at this time. Secretary, read a resolution.
Senate Resolution 791 by Senators Miller to the 53rd and others. A resolution commending the emergency medical services professions of Georgia and recognizing February 8, 2012 as Emergency Medical Services Day at the Capitol and for other purposes. Whereas the emergency medical services EMS professionals of Georgia respond to almost 1 million calls for assistance annually, risking their lives on a daily basis to go to the aid of those in need. Whereas there are over 1,600 EMS personnel who provide the essential life-saving services associated with out-of-hospital emergency medical care in the state of Georgia. Whereas this year marks the celebration of Georgia's EMS system's 39th year of service. Now therefore be it resolved by the Senate that the members of this body commend the emergency medical services professions of Georgia for their outstanding service of the state of Georgia and recognize February 8, 2012 as Emergency Medical Services Day at the Capitol.
Is there objection to adoption of the resolution? The chair hears none. The resolution is adopted. It's my honor now to call upon the distinguished senator from the 53rd to speak to the resolution and recognize these very, very special Georgians.
Thank you, Mr. President. You know, in your most trying times of need, some emergency at your home or business or just on the roadside, the people you call are from 911 or your emergency medical services, and they're always there ready to assist in whatever they can do to help extend your life and those of your loved ones. So to speak to you, please honor all these emergency medical technicians and their services. Kimberly Littleton. Kimberly.
Good morning. Thank you very much for having us here this morning, and also thank you for allowing us to come here and get a chance to talk to each one of you about the issues affecting emergency medical services in Georgia. We are fortunate today to have with us the EMT of the Year, Mr. Wilson. Mr. Wilson is from Beaufort, Georgia, and we are delighted to have him and his wife here with us this morning. Also, Director of State Office of EMS, Keith Wages. We also have other representatives with us this morning that represent fire-based, hospital-based, county-based services that we have that provide services all over the state of Georgia. So if we can ever be of assistance to you with the Georgia Association of EMS, I hope you'll call on us. And thank you again very much for honoring us here today.
Thank you for having us.
We appreciate it.
Well done. Congratulations. You too. Thanks. Good. Like that. Yeah, you're not far away. I'm just on that. Oh, that's good. Great to see you. Let's get us a picture, okay? Secretary Reed, Senate Bill 343.
Senate Bill 343 by Senator Heath of the 31st and others. A bill to be entitled an act to amend Chapter 5B of Title 50 of the OCGA relating to the State Accounting Office and for other purposes. The Senate Committee on Government Oversight recommends that this bill do pass.
Chair recognizes Senator from the 31st to present the bill. Please give the senator your attention.
Thank you, Mr. President, members of the Senate. I bring before you Senate Bill 343, simply transfers the office of the Comptroller General to the State Accounting Office. Their functions are very much the same. It just lines up a little bit better, maybe a tiny bit of efficiency. It doesn't cost us any jobs, doesn't save us any jobs, so to speak, but it does align the functions for a little more efficiency. So I'd be glad to answer any questions. If not, I ask for your favorable support.
Chair recognizes Senator from 33rd for a question.
Senator Yield.
Certainly.
Senator, the Comptroller General is attached to the Insurance Commissioner's office, and that's what we used to call the Insurance Commissioner. Is that not right?
I'm sure the gentleman knows of which he speaks.
And isn't that a constitutional officer listed in the Georgia Constitution that would be on the State Depository Board?
I'm sorry, I couldn't understand.
Would not that be one of the 5 members of the State Depository Board that decides where all the state funds and deposits are deposited in banks?
I think you're correct in that.
So, in effect, moving the Comptroller General to the accounting office, which is an executive office, will the governor then have 2 votes on the depository board? Keep in mind, I don't know that I'm against that. But would then he have 2 votes on the depository board?
It sounds as though you're correct. I don't have that research before me, so I don't want to speak incorrectly.
Isn't it true, Senator? I'm not quite sure how I feel about it because I don't particularly care for, even though I like our insurance commissioner, isn't it true that some of us have questioned an elected insurance commissioner, but primarily driven by campaign funds by insurance companies, being on the depository board, and so we're not sure whether we're for it or not, but I sure would like an explanation or find out if I'm right on that or if I'm wrong.
I wish I'd had this question 5 minutes ago. I'd been glad to get you some information, but I don't have the answer to that.
I apologize to you. It's not your fault.
It is the purpose for it is to align these functions, and the Comptroller General essentially examines and countersigns all warrants upon the state treasury by the governor, the President of the Senate, or the Speaker of the House. Audits accounts against the state. They collect. He or she collects evidence of debt due the state from any source other than taxes and to pay over the debt to the state treasurer. So that's what the functions of that office is.
Senator, I don't want to put you on the spot. Isn't it true? I don't. And if you will give us about 60 seconds before, if we can suspend, if I ask the President to suspend for about 60 seconds to 120 seconds, maybe we can find out if we're correct about the depository board so everybody understands what they're voting on. And that's up to you. I'm just asking, and I'll ask you when you get out of the way.
I don't object to that. I think we need to make wise and informed decisions in here. But I'm not the President of the Senate.
Chair recognizes Senator 39th.
Will Senator yield?
Yeah, absolutely.
Your bill would have the Office of the Comptroller go over to audits and accounts. Is that correct?
The State Accounting Office, yes, sir.
Will Senator further yield?
Yes, sir.
How would there be any conflict between the Comptroller General's responsibilities and that of the state auditor?
This is not the state auditor. This is the State Accounting Office. The jobs that they're doing now, excuse me, the State Accounting Office is already doing these functions in a day-to-day, on a day-to-day basis.
All right. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
There are no further questions, Senator.
All right, I would ask for your favorable consideration of Senate Bill 343.
Another question, Senator. Senators yielded the well. Chair recognizes Senator from 33rd.
I want to apologize. Thank you, Mr. President. I want to apologize to the Senator from 31st. This is one of those arcane questions that I must have been real bored one day when I read part of the Constitution, I guess, but I thought I remembered it, and I'm not sure that I'm correct. We may find out in just a moment that I'm not correct, but I do feel like we ought to have the question answered. The Depository Board is made up of 5 constitutional officers, and I think the Comptroller General in that older language is one of them, and by virtue of the Comptroller General serves on that Depository Board. Now let me say this. I'd like to find out if we're correct so that we know what we're doing. At this point, I'll probably vote in favor of the bill because I think there's less conflict than having someone elected by a small group of people. As you know, as Insurance Commission's office race doesn't create much excitement except amongst insurance companies. And many of us have been for an appointed insurance commissioner for a long time. No reflection on our current insurance commissioner because he's a good friend of mine. But if we can find the answer to that question, the Lieutenant Governor will be kind enough to give us that minute, then we'll clarify it and move on. Thank you.
Senate will suspend. Chair recognizes Senator from 33rd.
Inquiry, Mr. President.
State your inquiry.
Is it not true, as a courtesy to the Senate and talking to the leadership and the governor's office, that we've been assured we'll find out the answer to that one way or the other, and not to hold up the Senate? We'll ask if you would go ahead and proceed, Mr. President, if that's all right.
Thank you, Senator. Absolutely. Does any other senator wish to speak for or against the bill? Is there objection? Agreed to report of committee which fail pass the bill. Chairs none. Report of committee is agreed to. Shall the main question be now put? Are there any objections? The chair is none. Main question is ordered. Shall this bill now pass? The question is on the passage of the bill. All of those in favor of the bill will vote aye. Those opposed, no. Secretary will unlock the machine. On the passage of the bill, yeas are 47, the nays are 4. This bill, after requires constitutional majority, is therefore passed. Secretary reads Senate Bill 351. George.
Senate Bill 351 by Senator Crosby the 13th, A bill to be entitled an act to amend Chapter 32 of Title 36 of the OCGA relating to municipal courts so as to require the same training for all judges of courts exercising municipal court jurisdiction and for other purposes. The Senate Committee on Judiciary recommends that this bill do pass by substitute. The Senate Judiciary Committee offers the following substitute to Senate Bill 351. A bill to be entitled an act to amend Chapter 32 of Title 36 of the OCGA relating to municipal courts so as to require the same training for all judges of courts exercising municipal court jurisdiction and for other purposes.
Chair recognizes Senator from 13th.
Thank you, Mr. President, distinguished members of the Senate. I've got a minister friend in Tifton who has reminded me from time to time that the spoken word is a powerful tool and that we need to be careful about how we use the spoken word. It might influence some in the wrong direction. All of you, I think, know that I was a judge for a long time, and every time I would open court, I would always be a little tense, and I'm always a little tense when I step up here. But I think after hearing that discussion and resolution about the porta potties, I feel a little bit more relaxed this morning. But I want to say that after much hard work and reasonable compromise, we bring you the next two bills, Senate Bill 351 and Senate Bill 352. And I want to make one statement as relates to both. I think all of us know and realize that sometimes we have to compromise. And we have had a lot of hard work on these bills, even though they look pretty simple, and had some compromising. But certainly we should not compromise all of our principles. But I think when we do compromise, sometimes we help ourselves and hopefully we help the people that we represent. I had the opportunity to learn a little bit about compromise from my grandson last year after the ice storm. My wife and I took Ethan, who was age 6, and Chloe, who was age 4, to the Botanical Gardens out off of Piedmont. And I would like to put in a word for them. If you've never been there, then you need to go there and visit. It's even beautiful in the wintertime and certainly in the spring and summertime. But we had these two little kids walking around, and in that park they have, and I can't ever remember the name of them, those little pools. Jed Clampett called them concrete ponds, those little pools where you throw coins in and make a wish. And we were walking around, and I looked over there, and Ethan, my 7-year-old, was laying on the cement with his hand down in the pool, picking up pennies. And he was pitching them back in and making wishes. And I said, well, you know, that's all right. He's putting them all back in the pond, and I'm sure there are plenty of wishes left on those pennies. But as I was watching him, he pitched one in, it went plunk, and he said, I wish I was a rich man. He talks with a little bit of a twang on some words, but he said, I wish I was a rich man. And I heard him, and I said, Ethan, son, you probably don't need to be wishing that you were a rich man. You probably need to wish for happiness for your family and good health. And he said, I'll do that, Papa. And so I looked back in a minute, and he plunked another one in, and he said, I wish for good health and $20,000. But anyhow, so sometimes we have to compromise, but we don't compromise all of our principles. These kids are bright and smarter today than some of us old-timers were. I know I got off the subject here, but anyhow, Senate Bill 351 simply provides that any judge exercising municipal court jurisdiction shall be required each year to go and receive training. As you may very well know, some of the judges or some of the courts around the state who handle municipal cases, mostly traffic cases. Sometimes they're referred to as recorders' courts, mayor's courts, and a couple of other names. But this bill simply provides that if you're going to hold court in a municipality, then you must receive a certain amount of training each year. And if you don't receive that training, then under this bill, then the Judicial Qualifications Commission could remove you from being a sitting judge. I might say that the municipal people are with it, Judicial Qualifications Commission, and they're with it, and I would ask your favorable vote. Thank you. If there are no questions, I will yield the way on.
There are no questions, Senator. Question on the adoption of committee substitute. Is there objection? Chair hears none, and committee substitute is adopted. Does any other senator wish to speak for or against the bill? Is there objection? Agreed. Report of committee which favor pass the bill. Chair hears none. Report of committee is agreed to. Shall the main question be now put? Are there any objections? Chair hears none. Main question is ordered. Shall this bill now pass? Questions on the passage of the bill. All those in favor of the bill will vote aye. Those opposed, no. Secretary, unlock the machine. On the passage of the bill, the yeas are 48, the nays are 0. This bill, having received requisite constitutional majority, is therefore passed. Secretary will read Senate Bill 352.
Senate Bill 352 by Senator Crosby the 13th. A bill to be entitled an act to amend Chapter 18 of Title 15 of the OCGA relating to prosecuting attorneys so as to provide for prosecuting attorneys in probate courts and for other purposes. The Senate Committee on Judiciary recommends that this bill do pass by substitute. The Senate Judiciary Committee offers the following substitute to Senate Bill 352. A bill to be entitled an act to amend Chapter 18 of Title 15 of the OCGA related to prosecuting attorneys so as to provide for prosecuting attorneys in municipal courts and courts exercising municipal court jurisdiction and for other purposes.
Chair recognizes Senator 13th.
Thank you, Mr. President. Ladies and gentlemen of the Senate, I'll be very brief. Senate Bill 352 simply provides that, it gives the municipal courts the authority to employ prosecuting attorneys in all courts exercising municipal court jurisdiction. Now, some of the municipal courts have prosecutors, some of them do not. But many times a judge in a municipal court is kind of caught in the position that he feels like he's the judge, jury, and the executioner. And so many cities already hire attorneys, but this would simply give the city the authority to hire a lawyer for the municipal court. But it could not be done without the authority of the city officials. So it's pretty simple. I would ask that you vote in favor of it. Thank you. If there are no questions, I will yield the way on.
No question, Senator. Question on the adoption of committee substitute. Is there objection? Without objection, the committee substitute is adopted. Does any other senator wish to speak for or against the bill? Is there objection agreed? The report of committee which favor pass the bill. Chair hears none. Report of committee is agreed to. Shall the main question be now put? Are there any objections? Chair hears none. Main question is ordered. Shall this bill now pass? The question is on the passage of the bill. All of those in favor of the bill will vote aye. Those opposed, no. Secretary will unlock the machine. On the passage of the bill, the yeas are 50 and the nays are 0. And this bill, having received constitutional majority, is therefore passed. Does any senator wish to rise on a point of personal privilege? Chair recognizes the senator from the 34th.
Thank you, Mr. President, members of the Senate. I rise on a point of personal privilege just to wish our good friend and anchor well wishes on her retirement. Monica Pearson, after 37 years, will be retiring from WSB TV as anchor, having made history here in Atlanta, Georgia. I wanted to take this opportunity during Black History Month to wish Monica Pearson well. I yield the well.
Any other members? Chair recognizes senator from the 21st.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that the Senate stand adjourned until tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Tomorrow morning at 9 a.m.
Rules of the meeting upon adjournment, 4:50 in the Capitol. 1 p.m. Health and Human Services, 4:50 in the Capitol. 2 p.m. Ethics is canceled. 2 p.m. Government Oversight is canceled. 2 p.m. Veterans, Military, and Homeland Security is in the mezzanine. 3 p.m. Natural Resources and the Environment, 4:50 in the Capitol. 4 p.m. Judiciary, 4:50 in the Capitol. 4 p.m. Agriculture and Consumer Affairs, 125 in the Capitol.
The majority leaders move. We stand adjourned until 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. All of those in favor will say aye. All those opposed, no. Today the ayes do clearly have it. We stand adjourned.